events this past weekend on Saturday and Monday with the day off because of President's Day. So, kind of let's get into McHenry first. I know you guys were up at that one. I was not. So, day off because of President were up at that one. I was not. So, any takeaways from that? Any players you want to talk through?
We ran the Rising Stars in the
Yeah.
morning, and then we ran a high school event in the afternoon. And throughout the day, we're seeing 200 players. So there's a lot of meat on that bone, and that just event in general, I feel like continues to get deeper and deeper with the talent. The arms that come out of that thing every year is impressive. Like last year, I was mentioning to the guys in the pre showcase speech, just like Brandon Shannon. And what like that was kind of his coming out party last year, and then to see what he did throughout the entire year, like he went and earned it on the field, was an all-state selection for us, and then everything he did in the fall, and then got the Super 60 nod, and he's up to 95, and just continuing to boost his stock. But it's a great event up there. Those guys treat us great. And like I said, like over 200 guys on that day, and plenty to talk about. And then we back that up running our Lockport event on Monday. So I think we're all kind of in the same boat here. Like we're still ciphering through all these events. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but we're digging through all the numbers. We're digging through all of our notes and uploading videos still and looking back at videos we had and making sure we're getting good grasps on guys. So like today when we talk about McHenry, when we talk about Lockport, like these are just some main standouts that we were locked in on, we saw, and I am sure there's plenty of other guys that are going to kind of come out of the woodworks here as we continue to dig through these events. Um, but yeah, starting with McHenry, I mean, I know we've got some names listed here, guys, but just one really cool thing is it's at the GRB Illinois facility, and Caden Wozniewski came as a position player. He's our number 2 ranked 2027 right now. Um, Most likely he's in line to bump up to number 1. I don't want to kind of put the cart before the horse there, but with Sushi Wilson now going to IMG in Florida, like Caden Wozniewski just continues to put on a show every time we see him, and it doesn't matter if it's with the bat or with the arm. Like what he did at McHenry was kind of ridiculous. Like he comes out there, he ties for the top 30-yard dash of the day. Then he goes and takes a really loud round of BP. Then he goes on the infield, which he's athletic enough to play center, play short, play third. Like you could play anywhere with that guy. And he's 95 across the infield. It continues to tick up, and there's all kinds of polish to his game too. So I mean, that was just a huge takeaway that I had. And I know he'll be coming to the All State in a few weeks, and he'll pitch there, so we'll get to see that. And then Carver Cone, like they also have the number 1 2028 in our rankings, and gosh, there's so much time left in that class. Like there's bound to be a ton of movement and all that, but Carver Cone's really, really talented. Um, Sometimes it even makes us like a little squeamish ranking a freshman a 2028, but like he is a guy that I think we all feel really good about continuing to just stay atop the, class as he moves forward. So switch hitter showed really well with the bat. I know the exit velocities were really impressive for a 2028, but also just the polish and the how evenly matched he is from both sides of the plate. Like they're both very, very good swings. The left-handed swing, the right-handed swing, they both have kind of the same sort of juice in each side of the bat. And then he goes out there and he looks like a natural center field. Guys or anybody else from the day. From the day. closer to the high school season about some of these top teams to watch out for. And I think Pravi, deservedly so. They won state last year. They're bringing back a ton of people. Edwardsville, like the amount of talent that's rolling through there right now and what they bring back. But man, right with them, I think has to be McHenry. You have two aces, flat out aces in Wisniewski and Shannon, and now you're talking about some of these other guys. Carver Cone potentially making an impact as a freshman. I saw Scotty Cole. I'm gonna, shout him out right now. Like I know he's on our list to talk about, but I had him on my mound. It was like if this guy is like he could be a top 3 arm for any other high school, and he's probably McHenry's 5, 6. I don't even know, but like just the amount of depth they have on the mound. And I know Scotty showed well as a position guy too, but now Landon Clements you bring up, and um, the Fox Valley in general is loaded. But man, McHenry is they're making a push right now, so that's really good to see.
I think that kid's got a chance to, find a home right in the middle of Huntley's lineup.
When he was on the barrel, it was super loud. And you're right, like really loose with some controlled intent. I would like to see just on top, excuse me, getting on top of the baseball just a little bit more. Because I felt like he did, you know, I would say all his contact is in the air. So he was actually, getting underneath some, fouling some kind of like straight back, but it's a power profile. And yeah, if you miss and if he's on the barrel, it's going to be loud and with some authority.
For sure, for sure. Moving down our last 2026, at least in this position profile, position player profile part, we got Scott Cole from McHenry. Um, Another McHenry guy. Two-way guy though. Looks like he was 97 miles an hour with the bat. Super strong hands with some bat speed, and then up to 85 from the outfield. So the arm really works, and it looks like that transferred over to the mound as well. It works, and it looks like that transferred over to the mound as well. It works, and it looks like that transfer works, and it looks like that transfer
Um, but kind of the athletic actions, like just the mannerisms he had in the box, were definitely giving me those vibes. Now, there's not many that are like Alec Thomas. And we're gonna have to go see Jace, but just the raw athlete, like
No.
he's a left prospect. He ran the with Wozniewski. They both tied for the top 30 time of the event. Like he just kind of oozed like, okay, you have to follow this guy because if it really like if he can really hit or if it ever like really comes, man, with the way he moves, I'm guessing center field profile, like there's a lot to like there. Like there's a lot. He's probably gonna throw in high school, I would
No, go ahead.
imagine, and made me like him even more. Just the overall feel to his game. Like he was spinning a slurvy, sweeping breaking ball for a strike pretty much any time he wanted to, landing it where he wanted to. So, just overall impressive day for me. Getting our eyes on Koth.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was all in on the swing, like super athletic, left-handed swing. I think there's a ton more to come there. Moving on here, we got Liam Schultz, a Burlington Central kid. I was in on the swing there as well. Simple and strong. Was pretty direct to the baseball. Worked a ton on the barrel up the middle of the field. So you love that in BP. It shows at least some polish where he's just not trying to turn and burn. He's trying to stay work the middle. And he was able to hit off the hack attack as well. That says a lot too. But he was up to 95 miles an hour for the EV. And then we got moving down Jackson McDonald here from Sycamore. It looks like a two-way left-handed hitter, 6'1", 182, 92 miles an hour for the EV with a clean operation. But he was also up to 86 miles an hour on the mound with a curveball and a changeup.
Yeah, no, he was on Defaballs, I'm pretty sure. I know Def's probably chomping at the bit to get in here. But no, McDonald to me is like that exact guy we're talking about. Like these breakout candidates, I don't think he could fit the mold any better. Tyler, go ahead. I did see him swing the bat. I don't know if you saw him swing the bat, but it was a left-handed bat with all kinds of athleticism, all kinds of just like there's something in the hands with the whip, with the way he can turn the barrel and move the barrel through the zone, where I'm just like, all right, like he's a two-way guy. We really liked it on the mound, but he's also a QB1 in football. Like that is a really, really good foundation, and I want you to get into whatever you had here on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's again a perfect example of what Pete was just talking about with, you know, ranking the Power 25 teams. Like Sycamore perennially like is a good squad. We obviously like them a lot more knowing that they've got this guy on their team. They've already got a Tyler Townsend who is a future gamer for us. They've got Davis Colley who was, a pro case guy for us. Like so it just goes back to, we've got time for the Power 25 and stuff and why these preseason events are so important. But yeah, McDonald, I mean, it was a lively arm. Obviously, I don't know who the guy is. He comes up first pitch, and I'm like, whoa, that looks different. I better get my phone out. Drew comes over there, and we're both watching. And, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like one of our bigger takeaways was just how legit it seemed his breaking ball was. The curveball really has a chance to be a very quality pitch moving forward in his high school career. But it was 85 to 86. It's a really quick and clean arm. Had some spin field to him as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a really, really as well. But
And I'm seeing him up to 87 on our website, so I'm gonna give him that tick up. I know another guy
Yeah.
that showed well for all of us. I feel like was Landon Clements, left-handed hitting infielder. His name got thrown out earlier. What did you guys see on him?
Just, the frame stood out to me a little bit, 5'11", 155, so plenty more strength and maturing to do there, but really loose and whippy. I thought he controlled his levers well at the plate as well. 90-mile-an-hour exit velo, so, not too shabby, but pretty good bat speed in the low 70s, and, I mean, you could tell visually that it was pretty good, but then you go and cross-check with Blast, and that's when you get the real number, and, yeah, it's good to see those correlate, but no, I liked it. I liked it at the plate. Correlate, but no, yeah, I had him in my mound as well, and I liked it. He's up to 78 with some feel for multiple pitches, and then they were kind of tipping me off. They were like, hey, he's probably more of a bat, but it's pretty good on the mound too. But no, you're totally right. Ton of physicality in the box. I thought he controlled the barrel well for the intent that he was trying to use. Pretty balanced, and he was another guy trying to stay up the middle. But he was up to 95 for the EV. Yeah, and I liked it both. I liked it both. I liked it
Yeah,
both. I liked it both. I liked it
yeah.
both.
Well, and two other 28s to just kind of highlight here: Joey Frano, Johnsburg, and then Anthony Nuccio, Rolling Meadows. Just any kind of quick nugget you had on them, Pete, or just two bats to watch kind of down the road? Any kind of quick nugget you had on them, Pete, or just two?
Just guys to watch as we go forward. Just like the way it worked.
And that's, I mean, like we kind of touched on at the beginning of this, there's probably so many other, prospects we could mention, especially when it comes to position players. I know now there's some arms that we haven't touched on yet, and there's always a lot of arms coming out of this event. I was fortunate enough to get a couple on my mound come through that I really, really liked, but I see a few names before that. One of them that's like really piquing my interest is Drew Borkowski at Huntley. Um, because of like not only what he did on the mound, I know Defaball, you were a fan, but then you look at the just going through the stat sheet after the event, and he was like top of the charts and everything. 102 EV, like 95 from the outfield, just kind of putting on a show all over the place. But what did you have on him on the mound, Tyler? Well, and we are talking about high schools here and how, the winter plays a big role. Well, and we are well, and we are
That was me. I really liked him. So uncommitted 26. Definitely need to throw that out there. But he was up to 88 for me with some life. I thought the fastball had some life through the zone that I really liked. Three pitches for feel like for strikes. Three pitches for strikes. Slider had some good spin over 2,400 RPM. 74, 76 miles an hour, and the changeup was around the 80 mile an hour mark with some feel and running action. But just a three pitch guy with some velo, could spin, and the changeup too. You never. It's not that you never see it, but to have like actual feel for both a break ball and a changeup in high school is a pretty legit thing to have. I think he's gonna have a pretty big spring here.
well, and looking at him from last year, he was a guy that came to our event last year. So up to 83.3. Are there any other 2026 arms? I'm pulling up my sheet here just to make sure before I move on to one of the best arms of the day. I was lucky enough to have him on my mound, Liam Nash. He's ranked in our 2027 class. He goes to Westminster Christian. Last year, it just kind of seemed like he continued to get better throughout the year. Threw really, really well at our Illinois State games, and then came back and just seeing him on Saturday like continues to elevate. 6'2", 201 pounds. There's some thickness in the lower half. There's some durability look to him. Starter profile. He had four pitches with two different breaking balls, a fastball, and then he was mixing in this sinker. And that was probably my biggest takeaway on him was the fastball profile. Like he can throw the four seam fastball with life and carry at the top of the zone that plays true. And then he was throwing a true sinker that if I'm looking at the velos here, goodness gracious, I got to pull this up because I'm not going to do it justice, but it didn't look like he was getting anything off the velo, and it had a completely different profile to it. It was down in the zone. It was arm side with all kinds of heaviness, all kinds of sink, all kinds of run. And I'm just pulling up the track man here. So he was throwing that at like 83.5, and he was throwing his fastball, the four seamer, at like 88. So he does take something off of it. He almost treats it as as a changeup. But man, that thing it had some darting action to it. Like I was a really, really big fan of the sinker to go along with the fastball. And then he was mixing two different breaking balls in that he has feel for. They kind of blended together for me at times, the slider and the curveball. But man, he's going to be a 2027 to watch, and and in the summer, and he's going to be on that list, like a number of other guys. But he definitely was a highlight for me. And I'll keep going here, looking down this list. I had another good one on my mound, Burlington Central, Nicholas Sherry. We talk about these high schools. Burlington Central, they had, I don't want to mess it up, but Liam Schultz, the left-handed hitting catcher or third baseman that showed well with the bat. Well, guess what? Another guy from Burlington Central, 2027, same class as Schultz, Nicholas Sherry. 85, 87, topping at 88. It's got like developing strength in his 5'11", 181-pound frame. And similar to Rudnick, like it's a shorter, clean arm action, plays pretty compact, but it's all around the zone. I was a big fan of Nicholas Sherry. So Burlington Central's got some guys coming through like they always do, and that was just another 2027 winner for me.
Yeah, and then rounding out things for me arm-wise, for Crystal Lake Central defending 3A state champs, Michael Bud Shanahan is a 2027, 5'10", 162, just really looked like an athlete on the mound. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays another sport. I don't know if he does, but loved how he moved. Like I said, it was just really athletic. Arm works, it was low 80s, but like I don't care. Like it's gonna probably be really good in a year or two. Slider was his best pitch. He threw all of his off speed with intent, which for a younger guy I really like to see. He's not babying his slider to make it look like a curveball. It was short lateral action on the slider and could be a real out pitch this spring. So big fan of Shanahan, and hopefully we can get out and see him this spring.
I don't know if you guys have anybody else to mention from the high school
You're
realm.
muted.
But there were also some standouts at the McHenry Rising Stars, and I get a little. Is it too early to start talking about some 29s and some 2030s that showed really well? Probably, but just to know that there's some high quality talent still coming, planning on rolling through in the next couple of years up there in the Fox Valley. And I thought Henry Shower, heading to Jacobs, a 2029, just had like a very, very well-rounded advanced skill set. Like really swung it. The frame is a little more mature than a lot of other players you'll see at that age, and then really, really defended. And two other names that I thought showed well: Braden Murray, the son of Coach Murray there at Jacobs. I guess I got thrown off. I saw he's going to Cary Grove. But Jamie Murray, his dad, is the head coach at Jacobs. He's a 2030, and I just remember looking over into the cage at one point and seeing this loose, athletic left-handed hitter with a little bat tip, like looked like a guy, and then to find out he was a 2030. That one to me was a guy that's, he's got a bright future. You always love coaches' sons as well. And then Matthew Lawful here is listed, Cary Grove as well, a 2029. Just another name going to Cary Grove that we really like to swing in the glove in the outfield. So I don't know if you guys had anything else to kind of go off of the Rising Stars, but that was just a couple standouts that I feel like we could give some love to.
No, just three guys that we liked the way it worked. Again, like I'm not even looking at the numbers. Like I don't care. I just like the frames. I liked how it worked, and those are just three names to follow.